So my perspective changed in a second.
There's a catchphrase called monetization. Monetization. Monetization.
Mhm.
um, when I first started podcasting and we started our podcast production company, uh, one of the very first question that people ask me is, "How long does it take you get monetized?" I'm like, "Well, you're watching athletes and the Rogans and all of these people who've built reputation and they get these deals
That's right.
that are announced, and you really don't work that way. You get monetized from your experience in the game and by building an audience. I'm gonna give you a story. I was given a email, and the guy said, "Hey, we can help you grow your podcast and all this stuff." And when I got monetized, I'm like, "Oh, I wanted to grow." Right? Sent them some money and everything, and I lost my monetization. That's an experience, right?
Hmm.
And I sent the email to the company and I said, I checked them out. I thought it was a legit company, and I wasn't trying to be seedy or anything like that. I just was looking to grow. Lesson learned. I got my monetization back, and now I look at what we do in collaboration with others. When I have a guest on, and I'm just talking about from the podcast world, and even from
Yes, sir.
personal business life, right? When I have a guest on, I don't really ask them to promote the show or anything like that. And sometimes some are good at it. Others, they're coming to share their stories, their
Yes,
experiences
sir.
with my audience, so that our audience can get better. And that's the
Yes.
exchange. So how then do you go from zero to monetization to collaboration? Because the other flip side of it is that people don't want to collaborate with people that are not doing nothing. And while you're building it, you're not going to make money. This is not a hustle. Entrepreneurship, business building is not a hustle. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's what we're going to be
That's right.
talking about today. My name is NaRon Tillman. This is Walking Victory, where we have conversations to help you evolve your life. And we sit you at the feet of the master. Today, we have the pleasure. This is for entrepreneurs, people who are thinking about monetization, podcasters, whoever is on this rabbit, this hamster wheel that we call business. This episode is for you. Grab a pen, get you a sip of tea like myself, and let's talk to Chad. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Naran, it's great to see you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. The pleasure's all mine. So you do a unique thing, and you help people to see how they can monetize their experiences. Give me
All the assets they already have.
yes, yes, or assets that they already have, which both which both are uniquely kind of connected because
They are definitely connected. Yes,
we
sir.
are always looking at someone else's yard
Yes, we are.
and we have valuable
Yeah.
things in our own yard. How
Yes.
did you stumble upon this, and explain to the audience what does those things look like?
Sure, sure. So luckily for me, I stumbled upon it around 8 years old.
Mm.
Very similar. I was looking in someone else's yard around eight. I grew up on a farm way out in South Carolina. And on the farm, you have many things that are jobs to be done. One of those is putting up barbed wire fence. And if you could see, normally, if you've ever put any barbed wire fence, you have some trophies. And there's just scars on your hands because it's kind of angry wire, is what I kind of like to call it. But I had been introduced I probably watched a TV show, or at that time of my life, it's probably a movie. And I had heard about Manhattan. I was like, oh, Manhattan, big tall buildings. There's no tall building. There's tall trees where I was. But there's no tall buildings. And there's all these people and there's business and finer things as well. And I said, to myself, in the world, what can I do today to get myself to someplace like Manhattan? It sounds like the place that I really need to be. Is I felt a little bit like a fish out of water, being born in a very small town, and further outside of town is where I lived. And I changed all in a second. And I began to see all the world's resources in their most authentic expression, not specifically what you would call them, but what they truly are. And I also began to see what happens when I combine them. So this natural, relentless curiosity was ignited inside of me by, at one in 1 second, I felt, oh, I have nothing. Like the guy who's looking across at the green grass and he's thinking, oh, all the grass in my yard is brown. Well, he doesn't know that he's standing on very rich soil. It's perspective. So my perspective changed in a second. They say change doesn't happen over time, that it happens in the moment. That truly all we have is the present. There is no future, there is no past. You just have present. So for me, present and that moment, my perspective changed, and I began to see all the things that exist in the world as resources that are at my fingertip. And perhaps I would have that curiosity to recombine them. I could use them to create new and unique value. Turns out that was a true statement. It's what led me to starting over 50 different businesses and elevating to the place where I don't want to start any more businesses. I just want to unlock these dormant assets that all entrepreneurs, and I would argue all humans have. They're always looking, it's a great analogy, at somebody else's grass. And they don't see that they're already standing on a pretty green patch. Perhaps they would just look at it a little bit differently. And the position of looking at it a little bit differently, most specifically, is not what it means to me, but what it means to someone else. So I have a saying that I've now evolved to this awareness is the only thing you can do in life is give what you've been given. Unless you're different than me. When you got here, you didn't have anything and I didn't either. And when we leave, we shall not have anything. I hadn't figured out, Toomey does not make a model of suitcase, which they make some nice suitcases, that I can take everything that I've created in this world with me. So is it true? It seems to be true that the only thing in life you can do is give what you've been given. So how best should I do that? And that's what really ignited for me in seeing that I had everything that I already needed. I had access to the world's resources. If I would just look at them a little bit differently and leverage this art of collaboration, which truly is the result of an emergent when you combine two or more people, places, and things. When I look backwards, me on that farm, I had a lot of stuff, had a lot of things. I knew quite a few many people. I mean, in a small town, everybody knows everybody. And then uh, I had a lot of places. I was fortunate to travel a good bit to rodeo type events all over the country. So I knew a lot of places as well. And I just started combining them. There's magic in the word combine. But what a great question.
Yeah, excuse me. A lot of times people are afraid of where they come from,
Yes.
or they have disdain for where they come from. But these things help shape our narratives, and when we embrace them, we actually find that there are some good things. There's some valuable lessons in in even the things that were uncomfortable to us. The barbed wire hands. No one else can tell that story but you, right? So, um, um, how do you? What is two or three things that you see most entrepreneurs overlook constantly? You've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty sure you have some. You've seen some similarities of things that a lot of entrepreneurs overlook. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Now you're out, and I'm out. I guess. Okay. Okay. Good. So, um, what are some of the similarities that you see entrepreneurs overlook? I'm pretty sure because you've worked with so many. If you can tell me one or two things that you started to early on started to notice pattern of, wow, Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and when you look around, you start to get anxious, right? Because there is a journey of entrepreneurship, and it's a bumpy one. And you can learn two ways, which is why most people quit. You learn trial by fire. And it doesn't matter who your mentor is, or if you've been in business for 20 years and you're starting something new, you still have to, that new thing still has to go through that journey because it's just the way that it is. But what helps expedite through the journey is collaboration. Um, Not to harp on it because that reach and vision, but let's talk about the times because that part is where people get, that's where the bottleneck is, but that's also where the source is at. That's what helps send kids to private school, and and a lot of times we don't have the mindset to grow. So what I'm seeing is in that times the mindset shift has to happen before we get, is why we're doing the ratio. It has to start. It has to already be there. What are some of the things that you do to help people get over the mindset um, uh, loops that don't allow us, instead of putting a times there, we put a divided by? How do you help them coach them out? Yeah. So, mm, One could chase 1,000, two put 10,000. Can you imagine that multiplication if we keep building on that? Yeah, yeah, and yes, 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 because that's the way that I like to do business. When I was helping people with marketing stuff, they would ask, "Well, how much do you charge?" I'm like, "Well, I do have to pay people, so, but I don't charge. I'm not charging. I want a piece of the outcome because I believe so much in me and what I'm going to do that I prefer to take care of my people. And when we start making money, now how much are you willing to give? And that's when you start to see who people really are. They're like, I'm not. Yeah, I built this. Yes, it's all gonna change. Yeah, and that's the way that we've been trained to think. We've been trained to be competitive, and creation and competition doesn't. They exist in the same mind, but the competitive mindset will always push value away. The creative mindset starts to see things, the assets that are around them, right? And they begin to take those things and create from them. They go back to our archaic selves, right? The original. Oh man, I wish I would have known about it. Well, there you have it, everybody. I told you we sit you at the feet of the masters. Listen, I have a great announcement. We have a 7-day I Am challenge coming out. This is in precursor to the book. We are challenging you 7 days. You'll be spending time with me virtually. I'll be sending emails every day, and you'll journal out your experiences. And we want to build community. We want to collaborate. And the whole point is that you would, in this challenge, is at the end of the challenge, you will be able to better understand AI and see the synergy between the subconscious mind and AI. And eerily, if you're listening to this episode, there's a lot of things that is discussed in this challenge that we discussed today in this podcast, and I've never met this man before. So the link is in the description. All of Chad's information is in the description. And you know how we do, everybody. We don't ask you for cash apps, Venmos, um, or any of those things, and we don't knock people that do ask for those things. But what we do ask for is that you hit like, share, and subscribe, and that you share this particular episode out, collaboration, to your audience so that they can hear the information that is here. But we don't just ask that. We ask that you go to Chad's information. All of his social handles are in the description. Follow him on social media. Get engulfed in the group. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to build your business through combining and collaborating with other thought leaders, you can't go at it alone, and you don't have to. There's a community is waiting for you. All you have to do is walk in victory and go get it. Don't walk with your head down. Don't walk making excuses. Everybody together, we walk in victory. Peace.